Hello. Hello, dear student. Please confirm my voice is audible or not. So my audio, video, everything is okay or not. Hello. Hello, dear student. Please confirm my voice is audible or not. So my audio, video, everything is okay or not. चलिए start करते हैं. So very good morning, dear student. Hope you all are doing well. Dear student, today we are going to see about 29th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So you know that we are going to discuss about 29 July, and you can get this PDF by scanning this QR code, and you can join our premium infographics edition. There you will get not only the today PDF, all the past PDF there. You can just join and download all these things. And those who are using iPad or iOS device, you can download the Class Plus application and use our code as PKRMEJ to get it. Okay, and you can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram to get more current affair and all other like MCQ we are daily focusing. So focus on the mass inclusion, not exclusion. This is what said by the Supreme Court to the Election Commission of India. So Supreme Court says that electoral photo identity card, Aadhaar card should be acceptable as an identity document in Bihar Special Intensive Revision Drive. So the court says at the Election Commission insists these document can be easily forged. Court says any document can be falsified. That means the argument given by the Election Commission that this EPIC or the Aadhaar card can be forged. Supreme Court said that if that is the case, then any document can be made by forgery. So Supreme Court on Monday pushed harder for the election commissions to accept Aadhaar and electoral photo identity card. So what is the meaning of EPIC? Electoral photo identity cards. As identity document in special intensive revision drive that is being going on in the Bihar to purification of the electoral roll. So mass inclusion means including all the people in the electoral roll, and not and mass exclusion should be the outcome of exercise of the state bound. Recently, whatever the step action that has been taken by the government, their sole motive is to ensure that inclusion of the real citizen or real voter of the Bihar. And if you have to exclude, then they should be illegal or not citizen. So that is what the Supreme Court clearly stated here. एक मिनट. So next, sorry for interruption. So next important news is 3 terrorists killed in the Sri Lanka Pahalgam link under the scanner. So the Pahalgam terror attack where so many Indians people have been died. So there is speculations that these people may be involved in the Pahalgam terror attack. So 3 terrorists were killed in the Lidwas area of the Srinagar under Operation Mahadev. So our army conducted Operation Mahadev. So you need to know about not small operation. Whenever there is big kind of operation, you need to know all these things. The likely role of this terrorist in Pahalgam attack, which left 26 civilian dead and 22 on the April 22. So on after this Pahalgam attack, India launched Operation Sindhu to neutralize all these terrorists. Okay? So here we have neutralized all the 3 terrorists. There is a speculation, there is a belief that this terrorist may involve in the Pahalgam terror attack. So next, teenager Dibya outlast the Humpy, emerged as India's first woman in World Cup winner. So Indian chess recorded yet another great moment on the Monday. So Dibya Desmukh won the Women World Cup in Georgian city of Batumi. So you can remember that nowadays UPSC is also asking the questions from the chess also. So in the final, 19-year-old fellow Indian Koneru Humpy in tiebreaker This Dibya is defeated the Koneru Humpy. So you just need to know it. There is also article given at the end. Okay. So you can see, I'm just going to discuss at the end. There is one more article there, so it is given in detail. Okay. So dear student, you can join our Dronacharya year-long mentorship program also. You can check our answer writing, essay writing. So that is also provided by our team also. So next is the gold superheated far beyond its melting point can stay gold. So this is a new development that is being found, new discovery found, that if you hit the gold to superheated beyond the melting point, so they can stay in the solid state. So when gold is heated really quickly, it remains solid at a temperature far above the melting point, and new study in nature they have found. When an object is solid at or beyond its melting point, it's said to be superheated. Okay? So superheated means when you are hitting some object beyond its melting point, we can call superheated. But at superheated, generally it is believed that material can convert it into liquid. But if you superheat a gold beyond its melting point, so it will stay in the solid state. So this is what the news is. So India has the highest number of slum cluster in the flood prone area. So according to new study, 445 million people in the global south live in area which have already been exposed to the flood. Country like India and Brazil have disproportionately high number of floodplain settlement because the people who choose to live there lack of viable options. So the flooding events are the major hazardous worldwide according to the Modi report. So 2.3 billion people exposed to the flooding even every year. Okay? In India, more than 600 million people are at risk of coastal and inland flooding. So most of the poor people are residing in the coastal area like Delhi, you can say Kolkata, Mumbai, Chennai. So they are most prone to the flooding. So flooding exposure risk and especially in the global south. So just read something like it is already given that the study found that India has world largest number of slum dweller living vulnerable settlement in floodplain, that is 158 million. So tell me why देखो, why recently we have seen so many people are dying because of flood, because people are Indian population is rising very fast, so we are colonizing the floodplain, and floodplain is not for our resident, it is for flooding of the river. So if we are colonizing this floodplain, so definitely whenever flooding, that is going to impact our life na? So this article is about that, so please study it and understand. So next here it is given clearly. You can just read that Divya Doshir so became the first Indian woman to win the chess World Cup. So Divya, the first woman to win women World Cup. So double gold medalist team and individual at the Budapest Olympiad in 2024. So second teenager Indian girl after Koneru Humpy. Okay? So earn the Grandmaster title. So third winner after the World Cup. So just know that, and fourth Indian women to become the grandmaster after Humpy, Harika and Baisali. So 44th woman to get the grandmaster title. 19-year-old is now India's 88th grandmaster. So just know this much is more than enough. And nowadays UPSC is also asking multiple questions from sports also. A dear student, if you can get this highlighted version by scanning this QR code. So next is China offers subsidy to boost its birth rate. So recently we are seeing that the birth rate of China is falling, and to revive that birth rate, so their government is providing subsidy. So China government will offer subsidy to the parents to the tune of $500 for child under the age of 3 years. So Beijing state media said. So world second most populous nation facing loom of demographic crisis because their population is declining very fast. So the country population has declined three consecutive years with United Nations demographic model predict that its population could fall from 1.4 billion to 800 million. So rapidly China population is falling. So which is cause of concern because they are facing shortage of the labor. If that trend is going to continue, so it is going can we in future China can have a very aging society without having any young person to take care of it. So it provide direct cash subsidy to the family across the country, helping to reduce the burden of raising children. Okay. So China is providing subsidy to its to its people so that it can reduce the cost of raising a child, so that people Chinese couples can have more kids. So Thailand, Cambodia agree to ceasefire. So recently we have seen there is a violent border clashes getting occur between Thailand and Cambodia, and after this agreement, so they have stopped firing bullet and other things at the border. The fighting began on the Thursday after a landmine explosion along the border wounded 5 Thai soldiers. So both sides blame each other for starting the clashes have killed 35 people. So after a landmine blast happened, so in that blast, 5 Thai Thai soldier is killed. So due to that, this war is started. So it can be having bigger repercussion, but now they found a ceasefire. So both are part of the association for Southeast Asian nation. This is called ASEAN. So dear student, it is a homework. You have to study about countries of ASEAN. So which are the countries of ASEAN? You have to study it, and how ASEAN and India is having good relation. You have to study and understand detail. Okay. So next, Israel group call Gaza war a genocide. So genocide means whenever any country or any particular person involved in the war crime or killing huge amount of people, huge amount of you can say any clan, so that there is chances of that no people is going to survive. Systematically killing and reducing population is what called genocide or war crime. So there is a call at the international level. There is a call even within the Israel to file the genocide against the Israel. Okay, in their Gaza war. So next important news is India Pakistan would still be at war if not my intervention. This is what said by Donald Trump. Donald Trump repeatedly, time and again, says that it is because of Donald Trump intervention, India Pakistan stopped their war. So Donald Trump said that he used trade as a bargaining chip to ask both parties to stop war and find solution in the negotiation table. But Indian government categorically denied that India and Pakistan stopped the war after they received a call from the military, Pakistani military. So next, layoff socks, TCS staff go on job hunting. So recently we have seen, so there is a news that TCS is going to remove 12,000 jobs, remove 2,000 employees. So because of that, there is so many shockwave that is creating in tech industry. So we can see after emerging of AI and and machine learning, so large number of company they are go for all round AI. So when AI is going to perform so many tasks, then that is the reason there is no need for more number of human power to do the same thing. So they are doing layoff. So they are planning to remove 12,000 jobs. So because of that, those who are in the mid and higher career, so they are looking for alternative job. You can see what kind of impact is going to bring the AI in our future job scenario. So already because of AI, we are losing huge jobs. So this is what the negative impact of AI. So next, individuals and Hindu undivided family taxpayer benefit most of the exemption. So recently, our government have given reduce the corporate tax, okay, and that tax is being mostly gained by the individual and Hindu undivided family. So Hindu undivided family, it is being taken as a unity of taxation for taxation purpose. Okay, so this article is about that, not much important. So dear student, we are providing all the daily news current affairs summary in just 4 to 6 page. So you can scan this QR code to download our application. So you will get all the summary of current affair from Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, everything there. So you can get it. So next is procedure to reduce chemically contaminated sites get legal teeth. So in India, we have know that so many factory they have contaminated a place and left that place for their self healing. So recently, the Central Pollution Control Board pass a law that gave legal teeth for contaminated site can be treated. So the Union Environmental Ministry has notified new rules under the Environmental Protection Act that lay out the process of address site that are chemically contaminated. If a site is chemically contaminated, so that how we can going to treat that, how we can recover that sites, how we can ensure that that should be environmental way of treating that site so that it cannot do any harms. So that is what called environmental protection management of contaminated site rule. So this rule provide a systematically approach what are the steps that we are need to take so to protect harm. So they give legal structure to the process of contamination which is missing till now. The contaminated site according to the Central Pollution Board are where hazardous and other waste have been dumped historically. Some of the sites were contaminated when there is no regulation on management of hazardous waste. Okay, so some of the sites that is being dump all these chemicals by the industrialists, so they are unsuitable for human habitation. So that can cause severe disease also. Some instances polluter have either shut their operation or cost of remedies beyond their capability. Thus sites remain threat to the environment. So environment means animal, trees, humans. So these sites may include landfills, dump waste to storage and treatment plants. So how it is important for our mains. So whenever you are talking about mains, you can write about protection of environment, protection of waste treatment, and how we can ensure that environmental safely degradation of the pollutant. So you can talk of these rules recently published by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So next is India Japan officials discuss PM's visit bullet train project. So recently our Prime Minister of India planning to have an official visit to the Japan. So they are planning to have discussion on the bullet train, and recently Japan they have gifted a bullet train Shinkansen bullet train to India. So that is being simultaneously going to implement both Japan as well as India. So we can see that. So Gujarat portion of the Mumbai Ahmedabad high speed railway will be completed by December 2027, and entire project is now expected to completed by December 2029. Okay? So in addition to the both side have also discussed problem with the shortage of critical minerals. So recently we have seen that how China is imposing restriction on export of critical minerals. So because of that, at the global level, there is a shortage of critical minerals, and it is very much essential for our electric vehicles, for EV, for solar, for battery also. So the shortage of critical minerals required for batteries, rare earth magnets for battery electric vehicles produced by Japan, manufactured due to export restriction from the China. So you can see here. So we can collaborate with Japan to ensure more exploration of these critical minerals that is very much essential for our renewable energy push in India, because Japan have the technology and India is having minerals. So if we can collaborate together, then it is a win-win for both. So next important news is a very important news. You can note down them. You can get a question in your UPSC also. So NASA satellite NASA ISRO synthetic aperture satellite mounted on GSLV for launch tomorrow. So all system of the launch vehicle checked, say ISRO. The rocket will be inject 2392 kg Earth observation satellite into 743 kilometers on synchronous orbit to the enable wide range of applications. So ahead of the launch of NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar satellite, the Indian Space Research Organization on Monday announced satellite had to be mounted on the GSLV Mark 2. It will mount on the GSLV Mark 2, and that is going to place on the sun synchronous orbit. Remember that. So we are going to launch using GSLV Mark 2, not 3, Mark 2, and it will put on the sun synchronous orbit. So next GSLV rocket will inject satellite into 743 kilometers sun synchronous orbit. That means it is going to be in sync with sun. That means whenever satellite will be on the top of Earth, at the time Earth will, sun will be on the top. That means it will use the sun's light to observe. Okay? So watching the Earth. So this satellite will first to observe the Earth in dual frequency synthetic aperture radar. So here we are going to use dual frequency, so L band and S band. Just remember, and both NASA's 12-meter unfurlable mesh reflection antenna integrated with ISRO modified I3K satellite BOSS. So mission life is 5 year, and this swath is 252 kilometer. देखो, this is, let's say this is the Earth, and satellite is going to it is rotate like that. So whenever it is going to rotate, gradually it will cover entire the Earth, and in one rotation this distance is 242 kilometer. That means in one rotation it will cover the distance. It will take image of a distance of 242 kilometer, high spatial resolution using SWIPSAR technology for first time. So the satellite will be scan entire globe, produce all weather map in just 12 days. So the application, so NISA can detect small change in Earth surface such as ground deformation, ice sheet movement, vegetation dynamics. Further application includes sea ice classification, shift detection, shoreline monitoring, storm characteristics. So that means there is having huge application of NISAR both for the India and USA. So NISAR mission is broadly classified into launch, deployment, and commissioning and science phase. So first phase of the satellite will be launched. Then next we are going to perform the other tasks. So this is not important for us. What is important for us is already I have highlighted. So please read it, and this is very important for your examination. So next is precedent reference misleading can't be used to alter the prior ruling. This is what said by the Tamil Nadu and Supreme Court. So precedent reference under Article 143, they can make reference to the Supreme Court if they can ask something, or they can ask something. There is a confusion in the constitution, or there is a clarification needed of the constitution. So what happened recently? The Tamil Nadu governor keep on sitting few bills without approval of that, and because of that they filed a case in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court in that case clearly stated that sitting on the bill without passing its amount to violation of the constitution, and deemed that all bill are passed, and it is given a time limit for the both the governor, and when the bill is reserved by the governor for president, there is a time limit also applicable for the president to consider the bill, or they can return that. So but in original constitution there is no such date is mentioned. So Supreme Court in their judgment they have given a date, but in original constitution there is no date, so that create a confusion. And to find clarify that confusion, supreme the president file a presidential reference under article 143. They ask about all these things na. So the Tamil Nadu and Kerala urged the Supreme Court on Monday to dismiss the presidential preference, seeking clarity on whether judicial fixed timeline for president and governor to clear the bill, saying it is a ruse to make top court sit on the appeal of its own authority. So here the Tamil Nadu and Kerala says that so Supreme Court should not use the presidential reference as a point for reviewing its own judgment. The presidential reference is just an in case of any conflict or confusion, so that can be a forum to clarify that. It should not be used to review its own judgment. The constitution, both the state did allow the top court to sit appeal of its own judgment, nor can president west appellate jurisdiction to the court through the presidential reference. Okay, so president could only refer question on the Supreme Court under its advisory jurisdiction, article 143 of the constitution, if they had not been decided by the apex court. So and second thing, president can only refer to that matter to the Supreme Court if they have not taken any decision. If something decision is taken, they cannot take any decision. So this is what they have said. So I think about, so article 200 and 201 provide for the governor can assent the bill or resolve the bill for the consideration of the president. So quitting the judicial precedent in 1993, reference to the Kaveri Water Dispute Tribunal, state said that power of the governor and president under article 200 201 constitution have been subject of three separate authoritative judgment in cases of filed by the Telangana, Punjab, and finally. So decision of this court, question of law, binding in all court and authority. So that means whatever be the maybe the decision taken by the court or Supreme Court, it is binding on all the authority. So why did the High Court judge submit in-house inquiry? Ask Supreme Court. So, recently what happened, I'm just putting that context. So, there is a huge amount of burnt cash found on the house of Justice Yashwant Verma. So, after that, the Supreme Court formed an in-house committee to inquire about this issue, and then they've resigned the Justice Verma to resign, but Justice Verma will not resign. So, this in-house committee, they recommend to the President and the Prime Minister to removal of the Justice Verma. So here the question arises, when there is no such provision neither in constitution under article 124 talking about removal of 4 and 124(5) judge of the Supreme Court, or Judges Inquiry Act 1968 is also not talking about such judicial inquiry committee. So there is a question raised, why judge have formed that? If anything found, then it is the parliament, they can started the impeachment process. So this power should be given to the the parliament, not the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, after they found in the committee, they have made their committee recommendations to the public, that is also damage the reputation. So this is what the argument they have given. Okay. So next important news is how fair use clause is being applied to the generative AI. So I'm just explaining detail about it very briefly. So just listen carefully. So if I just want to design an AI model, so we have to feed so many data to it now. So data are either copyright protected data or not protected data. Whenever I'm feeding this copyright protected data, so it can use that data and generate new data, so that's going to be helpful. But the process I have used the copyrighted data, and in the end I'm not giving any compensations to those data I've been used. So that is what the complaint that is being made by the copyright. Let's say I'm making a novel, very good novel, and it is taking 10 years to write that novel. So anyone can take photo of it and uploaded in AI, and on that basis of novel, so it can write multiple novel in just, you can say, 10 days, 20 days. So that means my work has been used by this AI to generate new content, but in the process my my copyright is violated and I'm not getting proper compensations. Okay, so the summary judgment in the anthropic, that is the Claude AI and Meta cases, recognize the highly transformative character of Gen AI, therefore favoring finding fair use with respect to copyright material for training purpose. So recent judgment, it is said that the transformative AI, they can use even the copyright material for training purpose. So access to the diverse kind of material is vital for building and fine tuning large language models. So this AI, they're operating on the large language model. This material could be include those that are available in public domain, for example work where copyright has expired or book where copyright was relinquished by the author, as well as those under the copyright protection apart from gathering data through a source such as common crawl. So AI farm often scan copies of book other material and convert them into machine readable text from which they can extract it for training purpose. So that means even copyright material can be used to extract information. So that is under the fair use policy. ठीक है. So next important article is why bin Tabligh Jamaate remember given a clean sheet. So during COVID-19 we have seen, so there is a religious congregation happened in the Tabligh Jamaat. So at that time, media and government, they have create a polarized environment and blaming that the Tabligh Jamaat is responsible for spreading of the COVID-19. So after that they have been arrested and for violation of the COVID norms, but now they have get the clean sheet. So here it is a very good example how our media, they can promote the fake news during the COVID-19. So you can say that role of media should be factual, it should not be biased, it should be give information that is correct. So next, what is the Maharashtra new security bill? So recently Maharashtra passes new security bill. Their government is of view that there is a rising trends of left-wing extremism, Maoism. So they are not restricted to the rural area. Now they are spreading to the urban area. So they need something, law to protect the urban Noxal. So what they call urban Noxal. So they are, this law is passed so that they can ban any organization, frontal organization, those who are supporting ideology, those who are providing logistics, so they can be banned. So this is not the first time only the Maharashtra government is being implemented such law. So Maharashtra is the 50th government. Before that, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha also enacted the public security law. Okay. So but thing is that these state have been enacted this law prior to the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, so 1967. But after enactment of the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, there is provision for even classification of urban Noxal or whatever may be the government saying under this UAPA Act. So the those who are human right activists, they oppose that this can be a ground for suppressing dissent against the government and silencing the opposition, because it is given unilateral power to the government. They can declare any organization illegal without going through the judicial process. That means executive can declare any organization as a terrorist organization, so which is very against the principle. So next is, here it is, देखो, you can be charged whenever your action is inciting violence, but here it is talking about if even if you're writing, even you're signing, even that promote, you can say that can be idea that is in sync with left wing or the Maoism, so you can be arrested. So that can, you can see that it is very much prone to the misuse. So that is the reason people are opposing. So bill also became law. So after recently it is being passed, so it can become a law if it is getting the assent of the governor. Okay. So next important news we are going to see. So this is very important news. So justice delay is justice denied. So in India, we have seen huge pendency of cases. 5 crore cases are pending. So here it is given. So timely justice is a cornerstone of the public trust in the legal system, as captured by the classic maxim: justice delay is justice denied. Prolonged delay often deter people from approaching court. Okay, so 86,000, 87,000 cases pending in Supreme Court, 63 lakhs in the High Court, and 4.6 lakh in District Subordinate Court. So total 5 crore cases are pending in our judiciary system. You can imagine how much delay they are. So while principal actor in the judicial process are judges, lawyer, litigant, witness, generally act in good faith with rational intent, their function is often hindered by structural bottleneck, procedural delay, and systemic constraint. So though everyone is working to clear this pendency of cases, but still we are facing huge delay because of so many structural and legal aspect and challenges that everyone is facing in this context. Na, चलिए. So these constant in resolution arises from several interlinking factors, including inadequate infrastructure, court staff, complex case fact and nature of the evidence, and degree of cooperation from the key stakeholder. So delay are exacerbated by lack of mandated timeline of different case types. So like frequent adjournment. So judge, the lawyer advocate generally they demand for frequent adjournment and weak mechanism to monitor track bunch of cases for hearing. So here just read it, it's given a lot of good data. So here it is given our judicial strength is 25,000, but no, sorry, here it is given. So India judiciary function at around 79% of its capability. So out of 26,000 sanction strict, so around 500 5,600 posts are lying vacant. So that means our judiciary is understaffed. Okay, so just read it. So though there are alternative mechanism of judicial resolution, so this can be a very good question of how, what are the challenges our judiciary is facing, what are the challenges in our judiciary is facing because of delay, and what kind of step we should take to ensure the clearing of backlog. So why antitrust regulation are pertinent? So what is antitrust? So whenever any company they misuse their dominant market position and they dictate terms for the other small companies. So for example, Google is dominant player in digital market, and they can use their dominant market, to dictate terms with the small player. For example, if you want to list your application, there is no other option but you have to go through the Android Play Store for, and there is only one player, that is the Google. So you have to pay huge amount of money, whatever the demand they are going. So that is what they call antitrust. So recently we have seen the Google is flexing its muscle, and antitrust competition is going on all over the world against the Google, even USA, India. So this can be a very good example for your ethics. So how the dominant player, like ethics in corporate, ethics in the business, so how a dominant player they misuse, abuse their market position and to get maximum benefit by monopolizing the market. Okay, so next is culture of risk. So recently we have seen so many stampedes that is happening all over the India. So like stampede in the Hatara by during religious congregation by Bhole Baba. Then we have seen the during the Kumbh Mela, and recently in Haridwar also. So Devi Mansa Devi temple. So there is a happen. So why this is happening? We have to be analyze the factor behind that, and what are the consequences? Why these rumors are spread? We have to systematically study that. We have to conduct the mock drill. We have to capability develop the capability. We have to deploy the security forces. So everything we have to do in a holistical way. We need to conduct the safety audit. We need to promote the safety culture among our people. So people are very, they forget about all these things in a very small span of time. And all this area where they are reaching a huge amount of people, so there need to be proper arrangement for their transportation and all this. This accident, this stampede is happened because there is a rumor that the electrical air wire that is going on their overhead that snapped. So people are rushed because they believe it can be electrocute them. So we need to ensure proper infrastructure for electricity, so that this kind of incident we can prevent repeatedly that is occurring. So next is lesson from the past. So we know that the Chola, they are very powerful dynasty in South India. So they have extensive trade relations with all over the Southeast Asia, even China. They have captured the Sri Lanka, Maldives. That is the reason the Bay of Bengal is called the Chola Lake. So Chola, the greatest Chola emperor is Rajendra Chola, and his father is also called Raja Chola. So recently, so we are also celebrating the festival. It is called Thiruvathirai festivals. So Adi Thiruvathirai festivals, and this festival also organized to commemorate 100 years of maritime expedition of Raja Chola to southeastern. So okay, so I think it is not about the their their we need to learn a lot of things from the Chola history. For example, their culture, how they have managed the local self government, how they have managed their governance, efficient system of tax collection, and water conservation structure also. So Chola, we can learn a lot of things okay, from the life of the Chola also. So next, the medical boundary of Ayush practitioner. So recently there is a controversy going on by the different by the those who are MBBS versus the Ayush, because government at the state level they are, India is on the one hand facing severe shortage of the doctor, and if we have to ensure there should not be any shortage of doctor. We need more doctors. So one way is we can give a bridge course to the Ayush patient and make them practice the MBBS doctor. But this is being opposed by the MBBS association. They are saying that Ayush practice is quite different because it is ancient and modern allopathic practice is quite different. Even if you give the bridge course, that is not going to bridge that difference. And if Ayush doctor they start practicing under the doctor on MBBS, so that might lead to the quackery. That means people will get wrong treatment and ultimately they will blame the MBBS, and that is what reduce our trust on the medical professional also. And this article is also talking about we need to promote rational and scientific based approach rather than believing on the traditional system. No doubt we need to preserve our traditional system, but it should be efficacy, it should be basis of the real application. It should not be just because in the sake of culture we need to promote pseudo जिसको बोलते हैं ना, we need to promote the things that is not going to helpful. So this article is that only, not no need to go in detail. So next, built on this joint settlement and try save Gaza. So I'm just going to give you the context once again. Just listen carefully so you'll understand better. So what happened? The Gaza in Gaza, the terrorist organization called Hamas, they staying there. So Hamas, they attacked the Israel in 2023, October 2023, and they took people as hostage. And after that, Israel started operations with two objectives: to completely destroying the Hamas and release of the hostage. And after 21 months of war, neither of the objective is achieved. But in this process of destroying Hamas, the Israel destroy entire Gaza. People are on dire need. People are hunger, famine, so they are dying on the hungers. So whenever they are lining for the food, Israel bomb on them. So many people are dying that at the international level people are demanding that there should be war crime against the Israel government and prime minister. Okay? And more, even 146 out of the 192 country of UNA, they are in favor of recognition of the Palestinian state to prevent such I can say the humanitarian crisis or war crime. So this article is talking about that. So no doubt any country having their right to protect its citizen, but it should not be go such a far way to systematically display, systematically clean, systematically commit war crime against any particular nations. Okay, dear student. So dear student, this is all about the 29th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So dear student, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and please give this feedback in your comment box. Your feedback is always welcome. And please share this video with your friend. So I'll have to end here. चलिए, bye bye.